So thank you for today's Let's Talk Wellness. This is all about healthy mind, decluttering your space. April is Stress Awareness Month. Also, too, we're working to powering your emotional well-being. Being that it is Earth Month, we're also combining of how that we could declutter our space. So really often our workplace is that environment where we spend the majority of our time, which means that it can have a large effect on our mental, emotional well-being, and general health, right? Whether it could be at work or at home, the demands placed on a person exceeds the resources and coping abilities, and our health could be negatively impacted. So for example, if you're working, say, long hours while having issues at home, or maybe experiencing financial strain, they may be experiencing a dip in your mental and emotional health. With this being said, really everyone is unique and experiences the different states of mental and emotional well-being differently. But also too, is just knowing to be self-aware of your own mental health. And today we're really going to be talking about a healthy mind, decluttering our space, really mentally and physically around us. So let's go ahead and let's get started. What I want you to do is take out a piece of paper and write down action items 1, 2, and 3, and then underneath that, write ideas to try. So as we go through today's webinar, I want you to jot down some notes, just as you would do in another meeting. Jot them down, although you could always get this recording at another time or this PowerPoint. But write down your big takeaways. So let's get started. So first is our telltale sign of stress, right? Our stress is we're overeating. Maybe we're having other compulsive behaviors, maybe such as, alcohol or substance abuse that we're really talking about this month as well. Maybe we have quicker than normal temper and feelings of impatience while we're driving. That's my first thing that comes to my mind. Making mistakes that we normally wouldn't make. Sudden changes in appetite or sleep. Not taking breaks or no clear boundaries between work and personal time, which I'm definitely, with this pandemic and working for those working from home, you might find that signs of stress where there's no clear boundaries. And also no time for exercise or relaxation. So those are definitely some big telltale signs of stress right there for you. But how you can manage your stress is what's important. Everyone does have stress in their lives, whether it's minimal or to the extreme. It's how we're going to manage our stress in our daily lives. So how can we manage our stress? One, we could be aware of that primary source of stress. Is it not creating those boundaries from work to personal time? You could avoid caffeine, alcohol, and nicotine, or just all substance abuse. We could also work on our time management, sleep, take breaks, plan and prepare, exercise. Good job, Jim. We can also talk or write it out, just like how I mentioned earlier, beginning of the session. Write it out, a couple of different items that you want to try to take away from tonight. Reduce intake of refined sugars. Remember, your food is what you eat, how you make you feel, okay? Setting those boundaries. And what we're going to be talking about is keeping that workspace tidy, okay? So let's go ahead and dive a little deeper. Clean space, clear mind. What's the first word? Open up your chat. What is the first word that comes to your mind when you see her making this bed? What is that first word? What's speaking to you in this image here? Organized, relaxed. Okay, it could be never. It could be maybe you never make your bed. Right? Yeah, good morning. Let's start the day. Let's tidy it up. Ever since I started, the pandemic shift and having a work from home life, I do make my bed every day. I see it made. I see it tidy. I see it, like you mentioned, content. It's clean. It takes me through my day, right? She looks happy. There's clean lines in here. It's white. It's bright. It's airy, right? I feel like it's might be even a hotel room, right? When you get to like a hotel sleep, sometimes it's like a new space. But think about that as starting your day right, happy and tidy. So let's transition over to cleaning to manage stress in the workspace. So we want to think of that initial clean sweep. I want you to think of it, make it a habit. We're going to dive into this a little bit deeper. We want to make it fun. We want to make it convenient for yourself. You can also invest in some simple organizational items for yourself, whether it's a pen holder. Maybe it's a pen holder that actually speaks a quote to you. And everything in its place and a place for everything. I like that statement right there, right? Everything in its place and a place for everything. So this pen right here, it should be my pen holder, not just on my counter while if I'm not using them, okay? And every 6 months, get rid of any unneeded items. Think about as we even change our wardrobe from season to season, right? We're getting rid of any unneeded items. I'm already thinking about with my kids' clothes. I'm getting rid of the clothes I don't need no more. And I'm donating them and putting them to a good cause. And a clean space is a secure space. This is where you are comfortable. This is your comfort zone, okay? So I want you to, there's one thing to take away today. Think of the 5S approach. It's easy really to remember because each of them start with an S. You got 1 is sort, 2 is to store, 3 is to shine, 4 is to standardize, and 5 is to sustain. So if you're thinking about your workspace or a space that you have around you, that you're looking to clean your space or clean whatever you want to do, get starting. 1 is to sort. Sort any necessary and unnecessary items, identify them. Those are not needed, remove them. If you feel like you are already there, you sorted your necessary and unnecessary items, but you need that continuous improvement, continually to seek improvement opportunities. So continue to sort. Number 2, to store. Get it started. By needed items are safely stored and organized according to usage and frequency. This is also important with ergonomics. If I'm working on a document and I maybe see only every quarter or a folder, I don't need that on my desk. I might put that in a filing cabinet or someplace else. So think about that frequency of how much you actually use that document, use that piece of paper, use that item. And for that continuous improvement, look into a place of where do you really need it and where could you put those items. And to shine. Utilize any necessary cleaning materials, remove dirt, grime, and dust from your work area. This is where I like to just, take out that Clorox wipe and dust my laptop off. Sometimes that shininess of my laptop or my screen could give you that spark. Okay, and create for that continuous improvement, create that cleaning schedule and keep it maintained. Now to standardize, make workplace method improvements and label visible and understood by all who may encounter your workspace. Okay, So standardize your process in terms of what your workspace is like. Okay, mine is actually my office. My kids know not to come in here or to touch. I also too have a standing desk too. So if my desk is raised, it's off limits. So definitely standardize your workspace. And then to sustain, right? Create a checklist. I'm all about checklists. I love creating, I like color coordinated checklists too. But create that checklist to help you maintain all your hard work. And then two, just continue to seek elimination. Go back of any waste and any update your documents as all changes with your checklist. 3 questions you can always ask yourself is, do I actually use this item? Does this item bring joy into my life? Or would I miss this if this item were gone tomorrow? Okay, so those are 3 questions that you could always ask yourself about items. So moving on. All right, look at this desk here. Is this anyone's desk? All right, I have an activity for you. I want someone to pick out where is the water bottle. I want you to find a water bottle, a pen, and hand sanitizer. We got on the floor. Anyone find any of those items? The water bottle is actually underneath the lamp, underneath that, I'm gonna call it a binder. But maybe you're a little frustrated because you couldn't find where an item is, right? So that mental stress and frustration affects our daily life in terms of how we produce our work, okay? Also too, but having a messy desk actually exposes and creates potentially a security issue. Whether maybe if you are in the office, maybe you have an exposed badge, you just toss your keys down on a desk with a messy desk, okay? And having that some protected info being laid out on a desk is not a secure area. So what does it look like cleaned? Right here, ta-da. All right, so keep things minimal. I think now most of the time we are keeping a paper trail to a minimum, but here is to really just make sure you organize. There is a paper tray or the agenda tray to your left here, a whiteboard for maybe that quick notes, and then the lamp on the side is for that quick spotlight for you. So an organized desk like this one is definitely to a peace of mind, and also to gives you that gives you more security of your items. So 10 tips for mental health spring cleaning here is to keep a notebook around and write your thoughts down. Swipe a bad habit for a good one. Let go past dramas. Break projects you have been wanting to do into manageable chunks of time to accomplish. Build positive relationships and surround yourself with people who give you energy, even virtually. Sweep away that self-criticism. Think of one thing you are grateful for each day and compile a list of things over time to reflect on. Clear your mental cobweb by trying out a mindful technique. You could always come to a will session or practice your box breathing. Definitely a mindfulness technique helps with your mental and emotional health. Pick up a new hobby and also change your perspective to focus on moments of progress and joy. So those are 10 tips for your mental health spring cleaning. Feel free to take a screenshot of those items, or remember, jot down your top 3 takeaways. But now the digital sweep. Purge the digital sweep. I call it the social media circle, that cycle. I go from, before I go to bed, I go to Facebook, Instagram, back up to Facebook. It is a constant sweep. Purge your feed. Follow pages and use the apps that inspire you. Okay, this is where you're gonna get the motivation. I'm quickly scrolling on through my phone. Let me use something that's gonna inspire me, not make me feel frustrated. So start following maybe like home renovations. I actually follow a bunch of home renovations right now, and it's so inspiring to me that I think I could be a DIY expert here. Probably can't, but I'm going to inspire to do that. It makes me happy. Okay, it also makes me think about my organization within my closets. Try to limit your scroll time. Definitely is one of those items that before you go to bed, limit the screen time. We're going to go into a little bit more of helping your mental health around the news and the media too. But try a social media detox. Go for 1 week. Can you do 1 week? Can you do 1 day? Could you use 30 days of no social media? Clean up your own posts, right, on social media. And delete apps that drain your battery. This is one way so you're not have to be on your phone. Okay. Next is our sweat it out for our mental health too, to help us declutter. I stand all day, and this is also part of, I'm going to say exercise in terms of I'm standing, I'm moving. My brain and my mental health is constantly moving. I'm constantly thinking throughout. I actually used to have walking meetings. We would have walk and talk meetings. A lot of our great ideas came up while we were walking. So sweating it out is effective as medicine for decreasing mild to moderate anxiety or depression, improves your self-esteem, cognitive function, reduces stress, improves sleep, increase your energy levels, and also decreases isolation. As if you're going outside, say for a walk, you might just wave to a neighbor as you're walking on by. Just a simple gesture like that will decrease that isolation. So, besides keeping our desk nice and tidy, we also add a plant to our workspace. Does anyone have plants in your workspace? Or anyone a big planter? Maybe you had plants when you were in the office or at home. The plant does actually increases productivity here. Okay, it helps reduce stress, it cleans the air, increases creativity, and just create a better work environment here. So definitely try to put some of those house plants here for you. And I do have a slide to show you a couple different ones. One, for sure, is a snake plant. So the snake plant is actually a common house plant here that's native to Asia and Africa. Okay, so it's commonly referred to like filter the indoor air, remove the toxin, easy to care for. I'm big one on that. I think something is very easy to care for. And then you also enhance the energy and the feng shui of your space. So here's a slide of all different air filtering plants that are great for a working environment here. You have everything from the Boston fern, a weeping fig, bamboo palm. I see that a bunch of you guys do have plants in your space. Does anyone know the type of plant you have? Or you have never really thought about this? Of what type of plant? I know English ivies are very popular. I love a good palm tree. Orchid, okay. Anyone else know the type of plants? Spider plants? Yep, very popular. Awesome. All right, we'll definitely take a screenshot of this slide, and you could always bring it right over to Home Depot or Lowe's to find your air filtering plant types. So as we're talking about our mental health and decluttering that mind, we know stress is upon us on our daily lives, but like I mentioned earlier, it's about coping with stress during this outbreak. And really knowing that it's normal to feel sad, stressed, confused, but really talking to people that can get you the help that you need to get in touch with loved ones and feel connected. Um, Number two is just to really be aware that not everything being said about COVID is accurate. Know your sources, know where they're coming from, get trusted resources. Limit your stress and fear. This one here kind of comes like a little bit touchy. As just before this, I was watching the news about the situation in New York. And being I used to work in New York City, it was very touching to me. So if you do live in around this city, you can definitely feel this one here, maybe a little bit more heightened today, but knowing, like I mentioned, it's okay to talk about it, to get in touch with some loved ones and get the support that you do need. Do things in the past that you've done, do things you've done in the past that made you happy, to really help manage that challenge or stress. And if you are staying home, just be cautious. Remember to always eat healthy, get plenty of sleep, exercise regularly, and have that good social connect. And also too, we always want to make sure we want to deal with our emotions in a healthy way. We don't want to turn into any negative behaviors such as alcohol or say substance abuse, which the general population has been seeing a shift in things. Going in that direction. But I do want to actually share with you, like I mentioned, you do have tools, you have quite a bit of tools to support your emotional well-being. We do know things that have been tough for everyone over these past years, so we want to know that there's these resources available to you. One being Horizon Behavioral Health. If you are enrolled within the medical plan, you are eligible. If you are on version Pulse Be Well, you are eligible for a Next Steps consult. This is really a concierge service to maybe put you in the right direction of a program, a resource, or a tool that's available to you. And then your health coaching is that one-on-one support. This is a person that will be your confidant, will help you overcome barriers, to talk about sleeping well, eating better, moving more, or just you're about emotional health. Beacon Wellbeing for New Jersey or CC at your service for Long Island are your EAP providers. And this is for all employees, families, and anyone that has an impact for your life. What's awesome about this and the EAP program, you're eligible for 6 sessions per issue. So no, it's for per issue. So you can call for one issue and then you can start again for another issue. Again, a confidential service available to you. And then last but not least is BRoll powered by Virgin Pulse. Everything from journeys, mindfulness courses, ourselves, part of the BRoll Ground team is available for you guys to help to bring a presentation like this to your department, team, tailgate, whatever it may be. We're here to help and support you. And then this is your guide. We always share this at the end of every presentation, is your guide to everything Be Well. There's 2 different QR codes, New Jersey and Long Island, that this is your everything from emotional, financial, physical, and social, a quick contact list that you're able to view all your resources. And then this is your BRoll Ground team. Myself, Holly, Sam, and Nick, you probably have seen this over the last couple of weeks, presenting on different topics. This is our team right here. And then what we've been actually doing, we're coming up to time, half an hour flies on by, but you do get 100 BRoll points for attending to these sessions. The code is right there on the slide. It is 9, H as in Harry, V as in Victor, W as in water, B as in boy, the number 6, M as in Mary, W as in water, H as in Harry, F as in Frank, for 100 points for attending. And if you are interested in this presentation, please put your email address within the chat. I could definitely share this for you after. If there's any questions, I'd be happy to answer them for you. But I do want to put it out there. Next week is going to be an alcohol and substance abuse with PSEG Medical. So Liz DeSabellis for an informational talk about recognizing warning signs of substance abuse problems, how can it impact your mental health, and learn about the resources available to you to help yourself or potentially someone else. So it might not be you, it could always be someone else, whether it's a loved one, a friend, a distant relative, or even a coworker. Definitely highly, this presentation is going to be very good, so definitely recommend to attend. Any questions? Happy to answer. If there is something that you took from this presentation, feel free to add it into the chat.
Jen, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Hey, thanks. Yeah, I really, it's Sonia Martini. I really enjoyed this a lot. And I did take some notes as you suggested. Thank you.
No problem.
The one thing you said was, you know, follow pages that inspire you. So I am not a big social media person. So, you know, but I am, you know, like what you said about, you know, home organization and, you know, so I would look to, if you could make any recommendations for some pages that have to do with home organization and like decluttering, you know, and even feng shui or however you say that,
Yeah.
you know, right? So, and I don't know if it's, you know, how would, the basic question, but how would we follow it? Like I'm on LinkedIn, you know, I do very minimal with Facebook, but, you know, I guess I could get like an email from some of these places, but if you could help me with some of those basics and recommend some pages, that would be helpful.
Yeah, I think with that one, I also go on, I don't know if you have Pinterest too. Pinterest is a free website. You only want to download an app. And I feel like on Pinterest too, I will Google in like closet organization, cabinet organization, or like my kitchen cabinet. I can make it actual personal within Pinterest, and that will actually filter a blog that will help me create that space. So I like to use a Pinterest, for instance, to help me go to a blog if I'm not on a social media post.
Okay.
Also too, I always like to, sometimes I'll just Google, honestly. I like to Google, say, kitchen cabinet organization, and a lot of different blogs will definitely pop up for me, so I don't get into the cycle that I mentioned of social media, because I could easily get into a cycle of, you know, Facebook, Instagram, whether it was Snapchat, like or TikTok, I go back on one and back up to another. So good thing that you're not on social media that much. I really think just Googling the different organizational tips could help you get pages inspired to you. Also too, I just lost my train of thought, sorry. But yes, I think just typing in Google randomly, you could always, some of the blogs too. I will look at the blogs that I actually follow, and you can subscribe. So sometimes you'll get emails sent to you.
Well, that's interesting too. Yeah, and I'm not I've really done blogs, but maybe that's a good way to start. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Most of the bloggers I feel like do have subscribers to them. That's what I do feel.
Thank you.
No problem. Also too, now there's a bunch of new people on here. I recently, as you probably see, just got these handy dandy glasses. I'm calling them my old glasses, as I'm getting older here. But I've noticed since I've had them for the last 3 days, my eyes and mind feel much more relaxed. I don't know if it had something to do with it, but I know with my muscles in my eyes, I'm much more relaxed. So take notice of your eyes. Just a little fun fact. Any other questions or anything about BRoll? Anyone have any questions for? We still have some of the team members on. Anyone have issues with writing down or jotting down that code? When you log into your Version Pulse account, you click on Rewards, and from Rewards, you click Redeem a Voucher. And from there, you'll type in the code, or you could also, if you're on mobile, when you log in, scroll up just a little bit, and under Challenges says Rewards. You'll be able to enter the code there.